Two Boone County residents got a fresh start Wednesday, earning their drug court certificates. The court is an alternative instead of going to prison for those convicted of nonviolent crimes like theft or drug-related crimes. The program takes 30 months, and officials say most people finish it between 18 to 24 months by visiting their probation officer, going to treatment, and court regularly.
I'm really excited. I'm really proud of myself because it's taken a while to get here and to accomplish this and other things that I have since. I'm really proud of myself.